Hey, you're listening to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 207. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and today we're going to continue the arc of the good vibes by going like a bat out of hell. Now hit our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Whole ton is going down. We've got another super exciting patron sent in deck that features a card that I have been itching to play for months, but I can't get my goddamn hands on one.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to talk about some orders. We're going to tell some stories. We're going to talk about something that I think will impact the future of EDH going forward, period. But before we do any of that, we have to thank our official sponsor, FusionGamingOnline.com. They're your source for all your gaming needs.
Very much so. And I don't know what you're talking about when you say some of that stuff. I only have what I have and what I talked about a little bit in the pre-show yesterday. I will say, however, though, if you wanted to go over to FusionGamingOnline.com, use exclusive promo code CCOFusion5, all caps, no spaces, just type it in all caps. You can get yourself a Zurzoth. They have one.
Just one.
They have one right now.
And it's Zurzoth, by the way. That's what we're doing today.
Oh, yeah.
Cat's out of the fucking bag now.
Cat's out of the bag.
We're doing the Zurzoth Chaos Rider, who is a 2/3 devil for red 2. Whenever an opponent draws their first card each turn, if it's not their turn, you get a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature eats shit, it won something. And whenever one or more devils you control attack one or more players, you and those players each draw a card, then discard a card at random.
So, wow, fuck, that does a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a 2/3 for 3. Fine. Whenever we attack, what does this card even do?
Whenever it attacks, we and whoever we're attacking each draw a card and then discard a card at random.
Okay.
And then whenever an opponent draws their first card of a turn, as long as it's somebody else's turn, we get a devil.
Yes, as long as it's not our turn, if they draw cards, we get a devil.
Very cool in multiplayer EDH.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of turn, I'll brainstorm. Like,
yeah,
devil, you scum.
I'll give you the old red devil. Yeah, okay.
He's very cool. Before I uninstalled Arena, good vibe. I uninstalled Arena.
No, you didn't.
And it was based on one tweet that I saw. And the tweet was, I forget who it was from, and I'm very sorry if anybody knows, comment down below on the video so that people can see this. It said, hey everyone, if you're not having fun in a game, it's okay to concede. And I was like, you know what? I haven't had actual fun playing Arena since I crashed it playing my mutate pile with a Scoot Swarm.
I saw that tweet too.
Fuck this, I'm uninstalling it, and I did. So I'm clean now. But of course, now I can't play Magic every day. So if anybody needs a fourth for games, you got to hit me up because Because I'm going to go through withdrawals right away.
And did you see that Evan made a Find VEDH Games channel in our Discord?
I did.
Yeah, and I think it's active. There's a certain bot or something you can type something in and it just like puts something out like for people looking for games. Like it's a little bit automated, but I don't know how to use it. I got to learn that from Evan. But speaking of Evan, speaking of the Discord, it is one of the benefits to becoming a patron over at patreon.com/CCOPodcast. This is a patron deck today, and I wanted to take a minute, and I didn't tell you this. I told you in the pre-show that it's my kid's birthday today.
Yeah.
He's turning 3.
Happy birthday, Valor.
Yeah, and we don't have any new patrons to shout out this week, but I wanted to send a shout out to all of the patrons because you guys made the last, get this, over 3 years possible. If you'll remember on episode like 4 or 6 of CCO, I actually announced that me and Rebecca were having a baby on air to you.
Yeah, that was the Commie of the Butt Crack episode.
Was that it?
I'll never forget that. We were sitting on the other side of the glass over there.
Yeah.
It was a day just like today.
Yep.
Man,
some random morning.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. It was a big moment.
Yeah, so the last 3 years, my kid's 3 now. He's got a monster truck cake.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
and
fucking
he's
weird,
going to know it's a monster truck cake, and he might remember that he had a monster truck cake.
Yeah, he definitely will. He's got a great memory.
Hells yeah. Well, I mean, I remembered stuff when I was little too, but now I don't remember lots of the stuff when I was little.
But he's got his own thoughts now, right? He just comes up with things organically, like, or he'll have questions just organically. Like, I'm not leading him into anything, and I'm not telling him yes or no, or just like he'll say something now that's like, hey, thought of that, like out of your own brain. Good job.
Where'd that come from, Val? My brain. And then he gives you the finger.
Well, we've got this like little trifold anatomy book that just like, because that's what we were in school for. And we've got this book. It folds open, and it's like a skeleton, a nervous system. It's got a heart, a brain,
Sweet.
yeah, like all of like anatomy stuff in this thing.
Can I have it?
Well, you can look at it if you come to the party today. Valor will tell you all about it because he knows everything. That's the brain. That's the heart. That's the liver. He knows all the different parts of the inside of a body, right?
Man, I don't even know that.
The best part is he's got his own little magic card collection. I gave him like a booster box, and it's full of cards now. And only cards with animals on them, right? Birds and pigs and dinosaurs and
Oh, shit, yeah.
and zombies. He knows that zombies eat brains. So when he looks at the brain on our anatomy book, he's like, there's the brain. Hopefully zombies don't eat it. Yeah, so he's turning 3, well, tomorrow, but his birthday's today. So yeah, happy birthday. If you ever listen to this when you're old, like me, maybe you'll find it funny.
I hope so. Hopefully our humor will last the ages.
Yeah.
And people will look
timeless,
back and just
timeless humor.
Like what's something that's old that's super funny still?
Home
Happy
Alone.
Gilmore?
Home Alone.
Home Alone? Yeah, will Home Alone ever not be funny?
Not a chance.
Like
Me and my brother, who's 10 years younger than me, and my sister's husband, who's 10 years older than me, 12 years older than me, we made a Home Alone joke yesterday when we were moving my parents. And I made the joke, and all 3 of them finished the joke, and even my dad got the reference.
Wow. And then did they laugh though?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
hard they laughed.
That's key.
Fuck yeah.
Was it something to do with Marv stepping on that nail? Because that's my favorite part. That and Joe Pesci getting the blowtorch on his head.
No, you know what it was? You know what it was? We were moving like this gigantic metal thing full of like bolts, like big bolts and nuts, and they were carrying it, and they tipped it back upright, and it was like, and then they fucking slammed it down on the trailer and pushed it. And then once it got into place, I was like, that's the sound of a tool chest. And then all
falling
3 of
down
them
the stairs.
falling down the stairs. They all got it. Then my brother-in-law was like, with his nose to straighten it. Fuck, man, it was timeless.
That's Home Alone 2, dude.
Yeah, that's a sequel.
Jesus.
That's goddamn one of the best sequels of all time.
Oh, let me blow it up on you, though. Let me blow it up. You know who's in Home Alone 2? Donald Trump.
Yes, he is. You know what? Lots of network TVs actually cut out the Donald Trump scene, not for political purposes. They say for time purposes. And then Donald Trump goes on Twitter. He's like, really? I was in it for like 5 seconds. You cut that part out?
Although I think I was going to say there's like a law or rule or something that when you're a president or you're a government official, you can't appear as anything but yourself on screen. So maybe that has something. Yeah, like that's why Arnie couldn't actually be in Terminator while he was the governor of California. It wasn't because he didn't want to be. It's because he couldn't be because there's some kind of a rule. If you're in the States, you probably know this better than I do. But I think I read that somewhere.
Who doesn't want to be the Terminator?
Right? I'd much rather be the Terminator than the Governator.
Or Trump. Next level. What if Donald Trump is the Terminator?
Might be.
You
know, dude, 2020 is not over yet.
Oh, no.
Okay, we got a long way to go yet, baby. Oh, how sweet would transform cards be if there was like a creature and then just on the back was just a Terminator? Like a T-800 on the other side.
Yeah, or like a metal fucking endoskeleton of whatever the creature was.
That too.
Or you could have zombies where you could see some of their fucking Terminator flesh underneath. So fuck. Wizards is going to take that.
Son of a bitch.
They're going to take it. Their next crossover is going to be Terminator.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That was us.
Yeah.
Whoops.
So anyways, big thanks to all the patrons. You guys made it all possible the last 3 years. You've my entire kid's life has pretty much has been within the time that CCO has existed. So that's special. Big shout out to Gary Hewitt. That is Gary Halfwit on the Discord.
For the deck, who is he on? He's GMax 101.
GMax 101.
On Archidect.com, where he has provided us with both the deck and a plethora of custom categories, one of which is named after your boy here.
Yeah, that's right. The deck, Back Out of Hell, and the hint was the altered art Bad Out of Hell album cover that I did is on a Zurzoth. So that's what the hint, there's where the hint came from. And of course, link to the Commander Ad Populum Twitter will be in the show notes with Brando Does Stuff link as well. Those are our solo channels. You can check those out.
Did you do back out of or back to hell or bat out of hell?
Bat out of hell, where he's like Wah! On the dirt bike or on the motorbike, come out with the big bat behind him.
Oh, that's pretty good too.
It's cool. Yeah.
I actually like the back to hell one a little better, but I understand that out of hell is more iconic and more suiting of what the deck does.
Yes. Well, maybe Gary will come back to me one time and we'll get the other album cover on another card in the deck. Maybe like a hidden commander or an important card to the strategy. Maybe we can identify one for him.
Maybe in February of 2022 when Commander Legends actually is released, maybe there'll be another cool legendary devil that you could like.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yes. Yeah. And I think there might be. If there's not, there might be one when we go back to Innistrad. I know it's werewolves and vampires, but there might be a devil.
There could be devils.
Yeah, there could be devils.
People call vampires devils all the time.
Yeah.
If there was a devil vampire, there would be so many raging hard-ons in the Magic community that people would just think they have to print it now.
Yes.
And there's going to be a bunch of fucking vampires that are only coming in foil and only the skin that'll only like glow under daylight.
Oh, man, that'd be cool. That'd be cool if you're an outside vampire and there was a special foil printing that only the vampire was foil. There's the next crossover. They're going to do all the Twilight vampires. Sorry, guys. That's another one. Sorry.
Can you... Like, again, we're making jokes out of the fallout that's just been devastating the community. But, like, can you imagine if they did a fucking Twilight crossover for Return to Innistrad? Can you imagine it?
I'm not super interested in that.
Oh, my God. That would be just... Oh, I can't imagine it.
I would like to see maybe like a classic literature crossover, because I think there's definitely enough there, and I think that the tropes are so on the nose in Innistrad. Like there is a Dracula, or there could be a Dracula in Innistrad, and on the other side or the alternate art could actually be Dracula or Nosferatu.
That'd be cool.
Nosferatu came over from wherever to America, right, on a boat or something, right?
Yeah.
And you could have the alternate art be Nosferatu. Very iconic. I've seen that movie.
What?
What the fuck?
How is that a thing? You
I don't
watch
know.
it for class or something?
No, I watched it when I lived in Calgary.
Did you borrow it on VHS from the library?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
I just watched it. Yeah. You could have American Werewolf in Paris. You could have Cthulhu, right? Like if Emrakul came back ever or whatever. You could do those kinds of things.
Yeah. And hypothetically, if they didn't want to pay rights for any of that shit, which I don't think they'd have to because I think it's all public domain now, they also own Ravenloft. It's a campaign setting. It's D&D. Everybody loves D&D. They have Strahd. They have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They have all of that shit.
There's another one. Yeah, Jekyll and Hyde.
And people would immediately recognize all of the classic tropes because most of the Ravenloft stories are, I don't want to say lifted from those classic monster movies.
No, but they
fucking are.
They lend their themes and loose character representation and stuff, right?
Yeah, and then they tie them into the Dungeons and Dragons mythos in
a
that's
really
cool.
neat way. I
So
like that. That would be
I'd
a
into
cool
that.
return to Innistrad for like showcase and stuff, and you could have old style, like Victorian style art or
That'd be neat, man.
Even and get this magic art, like the digital art, magic art realism phase that we're in now. You could totally transform a lot of magic art on showcase cards for something like Innistrad to like Renaissance style paintings.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or I guess it's Renaissance. When you look at like the roof of the Sistine Chapel and stuff, you could have art like that on showcase cards in Innistrad, and you could lend that to all of their churches and basilicas having that kind of art displayed in it, or stone carvings, marble statues. I know they did marble statues for Theros.
Yeah, they look like ass. Fuck those.
Yeah, but you could do like better than that. You could do better than that, right?
That'd be cool. I would dig that. I'd be into that.
Yeah,
so hopefully Wizard
cool.
steals that one and not the other things that we've talked
Yeah,
about.
not Twilight. Maybe Terminator. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Terminator would be okay.
So let's talk about this deck today. This is an aggro deck. Zurzoth. We're hitting people so they draw cards so we get devils. Or we just make them draw cards.
And then discard them at random.
Yes.
And we don't give a shit about that because we're playing a bunch of stuff that does not give a shit if we discard it.
Yeah, I think that the point is to make them draw cards so we get devils so we can keep beating in. Are we going to beat some wholesale ass today?
Dude, we're playing mono red, man.
Are we going to slap lips?
Yes.
Stomp dinks into the dirt?
We will roll pipes up into puby playmats and wait for somebody out behind their house in the alley. When they take the garbage out, we're going to be fucking right there.
Watch out, Max Crandell. Okay, let's get to it.
All right, we will start the deck. Where should we start, Ryan?
We actually forgot to do something.
Wait, hang on. Brando and Ryan forgot something?
Well,
No.
mostly just me.
Impossible.
Yeah. And you just forgot a bunch of other things that are not related to the show.
I didn't even remember to finish the story about Zurzoth and Arena that I started like 20 minutes ago. And I just told everybody that I had installed Arena. I played him in Historic, and he's fucking awesome.
Oh, good.
That he's super good. So I have experience playing with him, and I know he's good, and I'm excited to talk about him later on in the show.
And random is important, you say, right?
Yes, and discarding at random is brutal.
Because your opponents can't plan.
Yeah.
We play a redundancy of effects in this deck such that if we discard at random and then draw, or if we wheel, we don't give a shit because we've got enough redundancies in what we're doing to be fine with whatever plan we decided on. We can continue on with that plan after we wheel or whatever, but our opponents might not have that luxury.
Yes.
Okay, but what we forgot to do was announce the winner of the booster pack from the stinky onion bag sack of packs to crack.
Ooh.
Yeah, last week's winner commented exactly the right combination of Tana and Singer the Dark Baron.
What?
On YouTube, Matthew Fuller.
That's meat flute, right?
Sure.
I think that's meat flute.
I love a good meat flute.
Don't Google that.
Do not Google that. Matthew Fuller, get at us at CCO Podcast, at CCO Brando on Twitter. Let us know that you're the winner. You'd like a pack. Send us your up-to-date address or get at us, commandercookout@gmail.com with the same information.
Yes.
And
Complete contact info available at commandercookout.com.
Oh, there it is. We got it all in. Okay, good.
There, we got there.
Okay, where do you want to start? The deck is all laid out custom categories, except randomly. I think there's one sorcery that didn't get put into a custom category.
What? Where is it?
Oh, what the fuck?
No, it's not there. That's not real.
Okay, maybe you know what? I think I organized my list a little bit differently when I was putting the show notes together. It's fine. Where do you want to start?
Let's start with the ramp. Let's get ramp out of the way.
Ramp out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. We're playing Battle Hymn, Braid of Fire, Jaya Ballard, Mana Geyser, Pyretic Ritual, Rite of Flame, Ruby Medallion, Runaway Steamkin, Seething Song, Vessel of Volatility, which we're going to talk about, Pyromancer's Goggles, which we're going to talk about, and Mana Crypt, which I think we should talk about.
Yeah, well, that's not even all of them. Like, you set a bunch of rituals, and essentially they're just instant speed or one-time effects, sorcery speed, whatever they are, one-time effects where we're spending a card and some mana to get more mana.
Yeah, either 2 for 3 or 3 for 5.
Battle Hymn is a red for each creature you control, and when we have Token Devils, that is going to be a powerful card because if we spend 2 and we get 6 or 7 mana out of that, that's lots.
Yeah,
that's a big one. Yeah, Braid of Fire, one it's like a red mana every upkeep, right?
Yep. Of course, you can, unless you have another particular card that we'll talk about later. That red mana goes away during your upkeep, so you can really only use it to play instants. I've had a couple of people ask me why that card is even sort of good, because it is. The reason is it's good is it's a bunch of free mana, and since mana burn doesn't exist anymore, there's no reason to not have it.
Yeah.
If you're playing a bunch of instants.
Yeah.
It's important to note.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you said you wanted to talk about Vessel of Volatility?
Vessel of Volatility is a card.
Give it a read. Give it a read.
I've never seen this card before.
Really?
That happens sometimes. Yeah, like it's one of those cards that just totally slipped under my radar.
It was a part of a cycle of common enchantments from Eldritch Moon.
Eldritch Moon was kind of when I was not away from the game, but I wasn't buying cards that much.
Okay.
So a lot of stuff from the second Innistrad set I just don't have a lot of familiarity with just because I was focused on other stuff at the time.
I gotcha.
So it's red 1 for an enchantment that gives you pay red 1 and sack it to get 4 red. That's cool.
You have to spend 4 to get 4 out of it, so you're not up any mana, and when you do that, you're actually down a card. But if you pay 2 and then wait till the following turn and pay 2, then you go up 4. So you're essentially giving yourself time and a card to get a burst of mana.
You're investing those 2 mana for later.
I understand that it's good because getting 4 red mana is good, but it doesn't actually make you any mana. That's a tough include, and I'm sure in this deck though, you're gonna want a burst of mana like that, so it's fine. You also wanted to talk about mana crypt because we're not playing any Soul Ring.
Yes.
Instead, we've got mana crypt, and I was like, "What the fuck? That's like $90. What gives?" And then I think that you hit the nail on the head.
The reason why you play mana crypt instead of Soul Ring in a deck like this is because it lets you turn one Zurzoth.
Yeah, Mountain, mana crypt, tap them all, Zurzoth, turn 1, so you can start swinging turn 2.
And it immediately puts you on your game plan and could hypothetically possibly take your opponents off their game plan or just totally fuck them. Because it's possible.
Because Zurzoth's a devil. When he attacks them, they're all going to draw cards and then discard at random.
Well, the people we attack are going to draw cards and discard at random. But
yes.
Like, you attack into somebody who maybe they let it slip. Oh, this is a loose include, and you attack them and they randomly discard their second land.
Yeah, a loose keep, you mean?
Yeah.
Like a loose keep on an opening hand.
You know, you might just
hoop
somebody, right?
You're playing in your known meta, your play group or whatever, and that's a combo deck. You attack the combo player, and you actually get it because it's random. You get their combo piece. You get that tutor that they were going to use to find it.
Yeah, it's very strong.
And in medium level commander where this deck might exist, like turn 1 Zerzoth, turn 2 attack. How many people are going to have creatures to block with? Like, nobody.
And even if they do, how many people are going to have creatures that are bigger than a 2/3?
Yes.
Virtually none.
Yeah.
And Zerzoth doesn't have to hit you.
He just needs to attack.
He just needs to be tapped and attacking. So
okay.
He's very good on turn 1.
So you said Pyromancer's Goggles, too? You said that one already?
That we're going to talk... Well, just because we have a bunch of rituals, and later on we're going to get into a bunch of instants and sorceries that we may or may not want to play twice at the same time.
Yes.
Pyromancer's Goggles will give us that versatility.
It taps for red. When you spend that red on an instant or sorcery, you can copy it, right?
And that's why it costs 5.
Yeah, so it's fine though, because if you go Pyromancer's Goggles on turn whatever, 3, 4, 5, whatever, you go battle him for red equals 5, and you copy it. All of a sudden you got like 10 mana,
yeah.
Right? Or 8 mana, whatever, because the original battle him costs 2.
Yeah.
But 8 mana for the price of 2. That's pretty good.
You're not laughing at that. And then Jaya Ballard, I think, is the last one worth noting in the ramp section. She's a planeswalker for red 2, 5 loyalty, +1, add red that you can only use to cast instants or sorceries. That's fine. +1, discard up to 3 cards, draw that many cards. Very good. -8, you get an emblem with, you can cast instants or sorcery cards from your graveyard. If a card cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. All of those are relevant abilities in this deck.
Yeah, for sure. Last one I want to include in the ramp section or mention is Ruby Medallion, just because it's one of the most expensive cards in the deck. It makes red spells cost 1 less. It's part of a cycle, the Medallion cycle. Not available in foil.
Bullshit.
Only ever printed in Commander 14, and then only some of them were reprinted in Commander's Arsenals, and before that it was only available in, I want to say...
Was it Tempest?
Or Mirage?
Tempest or Mirage. Yeah,
Tempest
I'm not sure.
or Mirage, they're old, yeah.
We could look at that. That was Tempest.
Tempest, yeah, you're right. So like $22, $17, whatever. And you know what? Hey, other thing I wanted to do, big shout out to Ian and Jonathan. Jonathan, our new editor. I'm sure he's going to be scrambling to try and fit on all those cards that you like smashed out of your mouth like all in a row.
I hope so.
Just chill out, Jonathan. You got this.
Yeah, we believe in you.
We do.
Okay.
You know what? I want to jump right now. You talked about Pyromancer's Goggles. Why don't we move to the copying, doubling, copying is fun category? We've got 4 more cards there.
Absolutely. We have, the first one is Repeated Reverberation.
Repeated Reverb. That is 4 mana. Red 2, copy something twice.
So it's reverberate.
Repeated.
It's reverberated reverberate.
Yeah, reverberateception.
Reverberated reverberation. That'd be a fucking card that
Sounds
they
like
would never type ever.
Unglued card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you copy something twice, always very powerful.
How about Primal Amulet? I like this one.
This is instant and sorcery cost 1 less. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, put a charge counter on it. Then if there's 3, you flip it, and it flips to something that copies, right?
It flips to a land that taps for 1 mana of any color. If you use it to tap or play an instant or sorcery, you copy it.
Oh, it's like Pyromancer's Goggles.
Yes.
Yes, except for any color.
Hypothetically, you could play it in any color.
And you don't need to flip it once it's got charge counters if you want to take advantage of the discount, right, on casting instants and sorceries.
It is a May.
Ah.
You could just keep your stuff is cheaper thing, and I don't know. Do you really want to do that? I just pay the one extra.
Well,
to get
you know what? I know that instants and sorceries, and we're playing the copying ones. I know with Reverberate, the copy and buyback one, if you make it cost less and you're copying it and a ritual that gives you the amount of mana that you can go infinite. I know that you can do that with Reverberate and rituals anyways, but this makes it easier, so you might not want to flip it.
I guess.
Yeah. If you can copy Reverberate infinite amount of times to make infinite mana, you don't need to flip it to copy something else.
That's very true.
Yeah. Anyways.
How about Mirari?
Yeah. Hey.
Have we played this before?
I was just going to say, is this the first time ever that we've played this card?
I think it might be. I think it might be one of those, not a relic of the past, one of those cards that people just forget about because there's so many other things that kind of do what it does.
It is a relic in that it was from the Vault Relics.
Oh, shut up. Shut up.
I thought you were just going to give me silence and edit some crickets in. This is a 5-drop legendary artifact. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, pay 3. If you do, you copy it.
Now compare that to Pyromancer's Goggles. You can tap it for a fucking mana and copy a thing.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, for the same cost, for the privilege of copying a spell, you had to pay 3 more.
Oh, dude, I remember in Odyssey Odyssey Standard with Torment, the black set, the set that Cabal Coffers was in, you could Cabal Coffers and you could Mind Rot somebody or corrupt somebody because you could make such huge mana. And Mind Rot was not Mind Rot, Mind Sludge. Opponent discards a card for each swamp you control and then copy it with Cabal Coffers and Mirari in the mono black control deck. Oh. Discard your whole hand. All right, I'll just play the draw game and you can continue discarding your whole hand because I'll just draw more fucking Mind Sludges until I find Corrupt. Then I'll copy my Corrupt with 14 swamps on the battlefield. Take 28 or whatever. I guess I win. That was that mono black deck. Worst. Oh my God. I played that deck. It was awesome.
Of course you did.
Dude, that's why I got all my foil Cabal Coffers. Coffee.
There we go. How about Increasing Vengeance, Ryan?
This is copy a thing for red, buy or flashback, red 3, flashback it. When you flash it back, you copy 2 things. Copy it twice.
Yeah, you copy the thing twice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dig that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're copying stuff. Let's talk more about how we're going to get things back. Maybe not necessarily our spells, but how we're going to get stuff back. And then we're going to talk about the stuff later. We're going to tease people with what we're actually doing.
Yeah, because with what we're doing, we're going to want to get things back. Okay, so let's see what we got.
We have a Backdraft Hellkite.
This is Flashcaster Dragon. This is Snapcaster Dragon, yeah. Flying, whenever it attacks, each instant and sorcery card in our graveyard gets flashback.
Cool.
Fucking cool. Battle him, get a bunch of mana, attack, battle him again, get a bunch of mana.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Just attack, then battle him, and then battle him again for a bunch of mana, then use that mana to play all your shit.
Yes, that's what I mean.
I like the way I said it better.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Both scenarios we're getting lots of mana.
Yes.
Good.
Now, a way to something that works really well with Backdraft Hellkite is Felden of the Third Path.
Yeah, Felden. He's a 2/3 for 3. You can pay red 2, tap him, put a token into play that is a copy of something in your graveyard, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so you just get your whatever thing back from your graveyard. It gains haste. You got to X out at end of turn.
It's an artifact as well. I'm not sure if that actually matters.
Not in this deck.
But sometimes it can.
Yep.
Also in that art, it's Santa Claus holding a woman's face in his hands. You know he's badass.
Badass Santa.
Yeah, Mrs. Claus was messing around with that fucking dentist elf while he was out delivering presents, and he got home and he wasn't having it.
Nope.
No.
Maybe that's a new Santa Claus, one of them special robots, with... I think we're talking about different things.
Finale of Promise, Ryan. Finale of Promise.
Whoa, baby. I like this card. I got a foil of this one that's trying to find a home. This is a sorcery for red X. You may cast up to an instant or sorcery from your graveyard with X or less in its casting cost?
Up to 1 instant and up to 1 sorcery from your graveyard.
There it is.
Converted mana cost X or less.
For free.
For free.
Just for free. And if X is 10 or more, copy them,
Twice.
So again, we'll just go back to Battle Hymn because it's just easy one. We got 5 creatures, Battle Hymns in our graveyard. We go Battle Hymn, and then we fucking use that mana to cast the Finale of Promise, and then we can cast it again from our graveyard for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we just happen to have lots of devils and creatures or extra mana that we can just dump in that from our lands, we can cast Battle Hymn twice and make a ton of mana. These are all little tricks that I may or may not have pulled off in Zada before. Zada and Zurzoth, they're kind of...
They both start with a Z?
Yeah, I was going to call them scissor sisters or butt buddies, but they're a brother and a sister. They're a boy and a girl.
Gross.
Yeah, we're just going to move on.
All right, how about Mizzix's Mastery?
Oh, baby.
Also has a Z in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, you can cast it until end of turn, right? For free.
Yes.
If you overload it for red 5, you can do that with every instant and sorcery. So literally spend 8, cast everything in your graveyard for free.
Ooh.
What the fuck were they thinking with that card?
They were thinking, who's ever going to have 8?
Commandy players.
Yeah, but this is before they started thinking, oh, no, wait a minute, this is a Commander card.
Commander 2015.
I thought that it was a fucking...
The goblin that shall not be named.
He shall not be.
Let's move on.
Moving on to Perpetual Timepiece.
You put 2 cards from your library into your graveyard?
Yeah, you mill yourself for 2.
Oh, okay. And then the other one is 2 exile it, and you can shuffle any number of cards from your graveyard into your library.
I'm guessing that's graveyard hate. That's my guess. Because we are going to use our graveyard as a mad resource in this deck, and there's
graveyard
a lot of...
hate.
Yeah.
I understand now.
So, like, if somebody goes to Tormund's Crypt you or whatever...
Give you all bajuk.
You can sort of have a chance to rebuild. Or if you're wheeling, you're going to mill yourself, you can Perpetual Timepiece all your shit back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's...
Yeah, you don't get bajuked, and you don't bajuk yourself.
Yes. You don't accidentally go for the... What's that fucking guy that everybody hates so much? Thassa's Oracle?
Yes.
You don't go for the Thassa's Oracle in your mono red deck?
No.
By just drawing yourself to death because you're not going to win.
Oh, man, is there a way that we can make that work?
No.
Oh.
Not yet. Not until Commander
Legends
comes out. Then we can just play any partner we want. And just, oh, yeah, blue.
Oh, no, I was going to say, like, play a different color card in my different color deck.
Give it time.
You give it time.
Give it time.
That one's for free, Wizards.
Now, we've talked about this one several times at length. We all know how good it is. It's Underwear Breach.
Underwear Breach, it lets us cast stuff from our graveyard at the cost of exiling stuff to escape it.
But as every time we talk about it on the show, there's something new and exciting to say about it. I just noticed today that isn't a pillar of flame shooting out of the ground. It's a rift in the world opening up and hell's coming out of it. And that guy's going, oh my God! So it's even more underwear breaching in it.
Yes.
Because you're taking that flaming dump and it has ripped your underpants and it is over now. Which is just what your opponents are doing whenever you cast this card.
We may or may not be discarding a lot of cards in this deck as to fuel our escape cost for Underwear Breach. And if I can just cast Battle Hymn or Mana Geyser, just fucking over and over and over and over. Mana Geyser gives us a mana for every tapped land our opponents control. What's the average amount that you get on that?
15.
15. And if I've wheeled and I've got 12 cards in my graveyard and I can just go 15 mana, 15 mana, 15 mana, 15 mana. Fuck it.
It's pretty good.
Dude.
It's fine.
Then Finale of Promise. You don't even need Finale of Promise.
No.
You just get something into your graveyard after you've gotten 15 mana a bunch of times with Underwear Breach, and then you just cast it out of your graveyard with all that mana.
Yeah.
Where's Electro Dominance? Is it in this deck?
I don't think so. Yeah, it probably should be. How about Volcanic Vision?
I don't even know what this does. You can give this one a read.
This is a sorcery for red 5. Return target instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand when Volcanic Vision deals damage equal to that card's converted mana cost to each creature your opponents control. Then you exile it.
Ooh. We got some big creature.
Yeah, we got some big shit. Well,
that's gonna kill some stuff.
Instants and sorcery is what we get back.
Oh.
And we've got some big ones of those too.
Okay, good. Read our last one. This one is on theme, Wildfire Devils.
Wildfire Devils is a 4/2 for 4. When it enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, choose a player at random. That player exiles an instant or sorcery card from their graveyard. Copy that card. You may cast that copy for free.
All right, so we're just gonna get something, right?
For free.
Yeah.
Like, whatever, it's fine. All right, we have enabled things. We're going to talk about all of the cards that draw cards, and then we're going to just fucking wreck people.
Yeah.
Because we got 15 cards that draw cards.
15 cards in red that are going to draw us cards or draw cards adjacent.
Who knew?
Who knew?
Those things are Valikute Exploration, Thrill of Possibility, Temple Bell, Pirate's Pillage, Merchant of the Veil, Magmatic Channeler, Ignite the Future, Howling Golem, Gaia Reach Sanitarium, Forgotten Cave, Fateful Shadows, Faithless Looting, Cleansing Wildfire, Cavalier of Flame, and Cathartic Reunion. And those things all do something fucking sick and say draw a card on them.
Of note, we are playing Howling Golem. Give that piece of shit a read.
Howling Golem is a 2/3 for 3. Whenever it attacks, each player draws a card. Or blocks. Attacks or blocks. Each player draws a card.
Right on theme. 25-cent uncommon from Dominaria and that board game night thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was only from that. I was like, we are not playing this piece of crap. But we are. And it fits in the deck because whenever it attacks
or blocks,
it's not fucking that player's turn.
Yeah.
So they're going to draw a card and we're going to get a devil.
Yes.
Or whenever they attack us, everybody else is going to draw a card and we're going to get fucking devils. Oh, man, it's perfect. I love that include. Oh,
I like it lots.
Yeah.
That's
sure.
a good one. And there's lots of other stuff. Cavalier of Flame does a ton of stuff. It pumps your team.
Yep.
It does damage. It lets you discard cards to draw cards. But those are all there to draw you cards and fuel the rest of the stuff that we're going to talk about.
Of note as well, we're playing a Forgotten Cave in the draw section, but it is a land. So is Gaia Reach Sanitarium. We're going to have a little bit of a discussion on the modal double face cards, and I think those cards are in that discussion as well because I think more often than not, Forgotten Cave is a card draw spell. You're just going to pay red, especially because we got all those rituals and burst mana where we want to find more of our air quotes chaos category cards. We're going to try and rip through our deck with a lot of the draw stuff to find what we're going to call the chaos cards.
Yes.
So
should we go there?
Do you want to have the modal double face card discussion now, I guess?
Let's do it. We're playing 34 air quote land in the deck.
Yeah. 36 if you count the Forgotten Cave and the Gaia Reach Sanitarium.
37 if you count the Primal Amulet.
You're right. Okay.
Yeah. So lots of land. 5 of those lands are, I believe, all 5 of the available mono-red modal double-faced cards from Return to Zendikar.
Okay, so we've got Kazul's Fury. That is the fling, the 3-mana fling with a red on the other side.
Yep.
Shatterskull, smoldering?
Smashing.
I knew it was something smashing. I like smashing. I want to smash.
That's a 2-target fireball, for lack of a better.
Yeah, and it's the pay 3 life on the other side to get it.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we got Songmad Treachery.
That's the 5-mana threaten effect. Get your opponent's guy, give him haste, attack with him.
Spikefield Hazard.
That is the 1 damage to each thing. If it's killed, it gets discarded?
1 damage to one thing. If it's killed, it gets exiled.
Oh, yeah. I said all of the things correctly in my head.
And Valikute Awakening is the last one.
And this one is a good one. This is the 3-mana instant speed. Instant. Motherfucking instant. Put any number of cards from our hand on the bottom. Draw that many cards plus 1.
Nice.
So it replaces itself, and it replaces every piece of shit in your hand with potentially less shitty things.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Very good.
So we had a little bit of a 10-second discussion on the pre-show yesterday on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube, go over there and subscribe. It will behoove you to do so. Where we talked about, do we replace lands, spells, and if in your case you're replacing spells, do you feel like you're running too many lands and these are just like jankier versions of other things that are better? Or in my case, do I still have enough lands? Because I straight up cut fucking basics for these. In every deck that they're going in.
I know they're going in every deck. Because I think that's the thing that comes up for me with these, is they're going to become these, well, I don't need to run 5 basics. I can run these 5 cards because they're all better than basics, which they're not when you're looking at land. To
Correct.
Get some kind of, they're not marginal, but you're getting a a possibly powerful effect.
Yeah,
on the back of the land.
the effects are real card effects that you would run, right? There's one of them in green that gives a +1/+1 counter to something, and +1/+1 counter is a thing we want, but it's not necessarily worth a card in my deck, right? Fling is worth a slot in my deck. Threaten is, let's call it Selective Wheel of Fortune, is worth a spot in my deck. And like over the last month, content creators and authors and writers and theorists on Magic have beat these to death. I wanted to talk about it a little bit differently because my take is just fucking axe the land, right? And the strategy I'm going to use is these are always going to be a land unless it's late game and I don't care about getting more land, right?
And that's fine. My way of looking at them is that's 4 shitty tapped lands that you can't rely on in the first 3-4 turns of a game. So now
Also
you've
correct.
Now you've drawn Mountain, Songmad Treachery, Spikefield Hazard, card. You can't keep that hand now.
Yeah, well, what if you get your Mana Crypt and your Kazul's Fury and you want a first turn Zurzoth and you can't?
And now you can't.
Right? And I'm not telling Gary to change the deck because I like the inclusion of these, and we are running 26 mountains. We should know too that we're playing a Valikute the Molten Pinnacle.
Yes, and none of those other things are mountains, by the by.
You're
and
right.
there's no Blood Moon to turn them into mountains either.
And you know what? This is something that I want to address real quick. Is I hear all the time and I read all the time, well, if you're not running basics, you're going to get bent over to a Blood Moon or a back to basics, what have you, right? It's kind of the functional equivalent of like saying in Commander, the format that we can play literally any land we want. I don't think there's not one banned land card. Oh, Tolarian Academy.
Sure.
We can play any land we want, and somebody's like, oh, I can't cast this red thing. I can't play this red card with casting cost red, and its mana cost. I can't play that card because red on turn 3 or 4 is too hard. I think that train of thought in 2, 3, 4 color decks when you can play every land is bogus, and I compare that to, oh, I want to run more basics because Blood Moon exists. Really? There's like 25,000 Magic cards, and I know Blood Moon is one of the good ones, but I'm not scared of Blood Moon because if I just happen to run into one of the 25,000 Magic cards that exist and it shuts off a portion of my strategy, great. That's why anybody would run that card. And these modal double face cards being non-basics on the back doesn't scare me because Blood Moon exists or Back to Basics exists or Rising Waters exists or whatever.
But would you ever run one of these over a non-basic? Would you cut especially not in a monocolor deck, let's say you're playing these in a 3-color deck, do you cut a filter land for one of these? No. I don't think you're in trouble because now people are going to start running things that affect your non-basics like Cleansing Wildfire or Wasteland, and now they can take you off color, right? Like
if I had an excess to the point of it doesn't matter of cards that can produce any color I need or multiple colors in a 2 or 3 color deck, yeah, I could see myself cutting a non-basic if it didn't have any other effect, like a filter land or whatever. I could see myself doing that to fit in an extra spell slot. I can see myself cutting a different comes into play tapped land, like in my Zada deck, I would cut maybe Dwarven Mine. Comes into play tap, but I can sacrifice it to get red.
But it can also come... Oh, no, I was thinking of a different one. I was thinking different Dwarven thing. It comes into play untapped if you have a couple of mountains.
Oh, I also play that. Yeah. I wouldn't cut that one because it gives me a token. Yeah. But the one that comes into play tapped, I got to wait a turn before I can get red to get my money back out of it, I guess. I would cut that to possibly run Valikute Awakening.
Sure.
And it's a tap land or it's a tap land. How many times do I sacrifice Dwarven Mine to get red? Not very often. And the upside of the front side of Valikute Awakening is way higher than a burst of red.
So now that we have that out of the way, that they're worth playing and they're cool, and
some expanded thoughts. We'll continuously be expanding our thoughts as we play these more.
Here's the thing that I kind of don't like about these is I feel that they might be one of those really cool set mechanics that you only see either on Zendikar or worse, in this Zendikar, in this set right now. So if we don't see them again, if you get one that's really, really good, like I think the white one, the white Boltland with the sweeper on the other side, really good. The green one that digs you to find a creature, very good. Valikute Awakening, very good. All mythics from a set, very tied to the set that they're printed in. If they become all of a sudden, well, I'm playing red, so I have to play Valikute Awakening 2 years from now, that card's going to be like a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't like to see those. Here's a cycle of staples that just, it rubs me the wrong way. And I'm not saying don't play them because don't, teach them a lesson.
You can't let it rub you the wrong way though. You just have to, oh, that's a good card. And that's where you leave it. It's a good card. I would want to play that. And if you want to play it and spend the money in a couple of years from now, either buy it or don't buy it. And you have to leave it at that, because if you always said, oh, I hate when they print powerful staples that you must play with mechanics tied to sets, because if we say that enough and we hate it or dislike it enough, they're going to stop doing that.
And they're going to start... That's 100% incorrect. That is not right. They will never stop doing that. Fucking ever. Under any circumstances.
Well, then you can't be mad about it, because that is just what Magic is then. And if you like Magic, you'll accept that that's what it is, and you'll get excited about the next good card that's coming out, or at least you should.
Well, I'll buy them because I have to, because this is my job. But I just don't like anything that's a barrier to entry. And if this becomes a barrier to entry because it's just better than a mountain, now you've got a fucking $25 mountain.
I don't think it.
And if you want to tune your deck, it's got, oh, are you playing Valikute Awakening? Yes, I'm playing Valikute Awakening. We get to the spice calculator, and we don't include Valikute Awakening anymore because it's the new fucking Sol Ring. It's in every deck that plays red. I just don't like that.
You're being excessively negative. I don't think it'll ever get there. I don't think Valikute Awakening is that good.
Why wouldn't it?
Well, because...
Why wouldn't you run Selective Wheel over Basic Mountain? If you're not afraid of anything that kills basics, and there's no reason to not play it.
Because it comes into play tapped. That might not be something my deck wants. Or I might not care about...
This deck wants to go fast, dude, and it's playing 5 things that are basically irrelevant effects in our strategy, and they all come into play tapped, except one of them.
Yeah, and that's why we're talking about it. That's why we're talking about it in this deck. That's why we chose this deck to talk about this in, because we're playing those things, and the deck wants to go fast, and we're saying, is that right? Because they all come into play tapped.
Yeah, it's not.
So that's my point, is the Valikute Awakening, maybe it doesn't belong in this deck. The front side, the effect does, because cat's out of the bag, we're playing lots of wheels in this deck. We do want that in a wheel deck.
Yeah.
Right? But if we want to wheel on turn 1... instead of play Zurzoth, or we want to wheel on turn 2 after Zurzoth to get a bunch of devils.
Only a 1.
Maybe. Oh yeah, that's right. Maybe that doesn't go in here because it comes into play tapped.
Yeah, it's poopy.
And if I had the choice to play Wheel of Fortune or Valikute Awakening, you know what I'm playing every fucking time.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, and the difference, of course, is that's $200.
Yeah,
and that. You could consider that a barrier to entry because it's $200.
Well,
but you could also say that well, Valikute Awakening on turn 2 or 3 does a pretty good impression of Wheel of Fortune.
Super good
for me, and it's like $3.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not a barrier to entry, at least now. And the other
today, it's not. I'm just worried. Like again, I say like you look out at the future. It's like I can see these already being those ubiquitous cards that are just.
Cards that you should own if you want to play the Commander format.
Yeah, and it dilutes the creativity, because everyone's like, well, I gotta throw this in, and you just start seeing it in every deck like Sol Ring. That's the thing that I worry about the most. Is just cards that just show up all the time. Because honestly, I don't think in any green deck there's any reason to not run that Recollect that's a land.
The Recollect that's a land. Which one is that one?
The green 2 return a card.
The regrowth.
Why not play it? Green is ramping hard enough. It doesn't care if you have a tap land, especially if that tap land gets one of your green things back, because your green thing is always going to be better than any other color of thing.
If your tap or if your regrowth thing, your modal double face regrowth gets you back a ramp spell, it just kind of pays for itself.
Yeah.
Like I think that's fine. And that one's
uncommon. So
I was going to say you don't need to be worried about that one because it's uncommon, and that one having no ties to any plane or whatever Oh no, it's got a name plain thing. Well, you know what? Anytime, and they do it all the time in Commander products, they print tokens in the Commander decks. All of those tokens are always double-sided, so they could fit in modal double face cards in those products.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Whether they will or not, because I mean now they're
Yeah.
connecting the fucking Commander decks to the plane that they're on. So
You know what? We're going to
Yeah,
see
we're
more of
getting-
these
yeah.
in Kaldheim. We're going to continuously expand our mental vocabulary on these cards because there is so much to think and say about them, right?
yes, there's a lot going on there. That's round one of
That's
the modal
round
double
one.
face
Well,
cards.
you know what? YouTube segment, round 2, we're going to do it.
There we go.
We'll just talk about it more there too.
Sure. I don't hate them. I don't want anybody to think that I hate them.
I think they're fucking good.
I just don't want them to become this ubiquitous, like, oh, here they fucking are. They're in every list we talk about forever.
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
then
never
we
want
just
them
start like saying, yeah, we're playing these in the land section.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
3 cards in the Protect Yourself category. I think that there should be one more. We'll talk about it in 1 second. We're playing Deflecting Swat,
Yeah, that's the free one.
Pyroblast,
F's a blue thing.
and Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, I guess because we're playing instants and sorceries a lot, we're making blockers.
We're making blockers.
Okay.
Now, what should be in here as well, I know it costs 6. Red 4, which is my favorite mana cost, because you know it's going to be something awesome. We should be playing the Rager.
The Rager.
Geode Rager, as it were.
It goads or something, right?
Yeah, we play a land, and it goads all the creatures that target player controls. So if there's somebody that's going to swarm in and fuck your life up, you just play a land, gold them. And then
Cool.
they can't hit you, and it opens them up for you to beat face with Zurzoth. It gives you somebody to
Oh,
attack safely
yeah.
with Zurzoth every damn turn.
Yeah, and it incentivizes you to play them modal double face cards face down as a
Yeah.
land.
But so I think that would be an amazing card in here, and I think that they became cheap. I think they were $15 at one point, but I think that they have tanked now that people can actually buy those commander decks.
Excellent.
Yeah, so pick one of those up. I think it has.
Because it was a Zendikar Rising Commander deck exclusive.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's a cool card. Let's talk about the Chaos.
The Chaos. And you know what? I love it because it's not traditional, I'm going to make a Chaos deck.
Yeah, this isn't actual Chaos stuff. It's just
Read the first card at the top there.
Chaos Warp.
Chaos fucking Warp.
We all know Chaos Warp.
Yeah, it kills a thing. They reveal. Sure.
Divergent Transformation.
This card is a CEDH card.
Let me tell you a quick story about this before we tell everybody what it does.
Sure.
I've been looking for a home for this in some of my more casual decks since I got one, and I just haven't found the home yet, and I'm so happy to see somebody playing it.
Good. Yeah. I like this one. Red 7 6.
Jesus.
Red 6. Fuck.
Holy shit.
Undaunted. This was from Commander 16. This is a cycle that we forgot.
That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, why do I
it
remember
costs 1 less for each of your opponents. So if you got 3 opponents, it's red 3.
Neat.
That's a good price.
Math is pretty good.
That's a good price.
What's it do?
Exile 2 creatures. For each of those creatures, its controller reveals cards from the top of their library until they hit creatures. So it polymorphs 2 things.
Neat.
Yeah, it's a CEDH card because you polymorph down until you hit your Thassa's Oracle and your whatever the fuck, and then you win the game.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're leveler.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Why is that? What the fuck?
Yeah.
CEDH players, what's the matter with you?
It might not be leveler.
Why wouldn't it be leveler?
Because
You immediately win the game.
it might be something that lets you search for Demonic Consultation, which does the same thing. And Demonic Consultation's an actual good card where leveler's like, eh.
But leveler just wins you the game. Immediately.
Yeah, so does D-Consult.
Hypothetically. But you got to resolve that shit. Oh, I don't know, man.
suppose.
Yeah, you got
I don't know. CEDH players fill us in. Let's keep going.
Dragon Mage.
That is Wheel of Fortune on a 5/5 for 100 mana.
Yeah. How about Dream Shaper Shaman? This card should just have the fucking eggplant emoji on it instead of the picture.
Well, give us a read.
I love this card. It's a 5/4 Minotaur Shaman for red 5. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay red 2, sacrifice a non-land permanent. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land permanent card. Put that card into play and the rest on the bottom of your library in random order. I love cards like that because it just
polymorph, kind of?
It just, I got some extra mana. It's
Fuck
turn
it.
9. We're hanging out. Fuck this thing. Fuck this devil token. I'm going to 1 you.
Yeah.
and-
I'll move to my end step. I'll pay 3, and I'm going to go get a beer, and when I come back, I'm just going to fucking do this.
Yeah. And it's cool. Like, there's no telling what you're going to get. It's a fun card, and I love cards that are fun.
Yeah.
And everything about that card is fun.
Okay, give us the next one.
Atali Primal Storm.
Whenever he attacks, you just get to cast the top thing in everybody's library for free.
How much does it cost, Ryan?
Red 4.
Every time. Every time. Fireflux Squad.
What? I don't even know what this does. This is from Commander 20.
This is a good-ass card.
Okay. 4/3 for 4, haste, human soldier. When it attacks, you may exile another target attacking creature you control. If you do, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card, and then you get it tapped and attacking, right?
Yes.
So it just polymorphs again.
So you get rid of your shitty devil token,
Yes.
and then
You
put something else
fucking
in.
Dragon Mage.
And since that thing's attacking with your Zurzoth before any of that other shit happens, everybody's already drawn and discarded at random. You've already got a fucking devil token you can chuck with it. Hell yeah. And with your mana crypt, that's on turn 2.
Yeah, like you put the Fireflux Squad ability on the stack, like on the bottom, so you resolve it last. So when you attack, you get a devil, and you attack with Zerzoth and Fireflux Squad, and you would resolve Zerzoth's get a devil thing first, and then you would resolve the sacrifice a creature to polymorph down to get a different creature by sacrificing Zerzoth's devil that you already have from resolving that ability first. And then you can polymorph down. Because they're all on when attack, right? None of them are on dealt damage, so you haven't moved past declare attackers where all those abilities trigger.
And that happens on turn 2.
Fuck yeah, it does.
There
Well,
it is.
you might not have your Fireflux Squad on turn 2, but you might.
You might. Now,
Because it has haste.
Yeah.
You play Mountain on turn 2 with your Mana Crypt, and you just play it and fucking swing in with everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good deck, man. From the Ashes is the next card.
Yes.
Fuck that card. It should be Ruination.
It destroys all non-basics, and then for each land, they search for another one. I think you want to exile your own lands or destroy your own lands to find basics out of your deck. So when you're revealing down to permanent cards, in air quotes, you have a smaller chance of hitting other land.
Nah.
Ruination. Got it.
Ruination. There's too many people playing fucking Lotus Cobras and Valikute Explorations or whatever the hell that other card's called or whatever. There's too much landfall going on for you to be giving people 10 free land.
Yes.
If you want
Especially me, because I don't play basics. Because mono double face cards. Fuck the world.
to... It's basically Ruination. And it costs the same.
Yes. Play them both.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
There
Got
it is.
there.
Hazaret's Undying Fury.
Shuffle your library, then look at the top 4. No, exile the top 4. You can play or cast. You can cast any of them without paying. And if they're lands, you can play them.
Converted mana cost 5 or less from among them.
Okay, so we're just shuffling and getting free shit.
And then it doesn't your lands don't untap. That's like Bontu's Last Reckoning, but red.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Magus of the Wheel.
That's a wheel on a dude.
Reforge the Soul.
That's wheel, but wheel for less if you draw it.
Surly Badger Soar.
That is whenever you discard a card, if it's a creature, Surly Badger Sword gets +1.
Counter.
Yep. Whenever you discard a land, you get a treasure.
Yeah.
And whenever you discard a non-creature, non-land, it fights something.
That's a cool. So
It's
you wheel
surly.
away. You wheel away your 7 cards and turn it into like a 5/5.
Yes, with wheels.
Make a bunch of mana and then just fucking punk something.
You could rip through your entire deck with that. If you just continuously discard your lands to wheel effects with Surly Badger Soar and you always are drawing more cards, if those cards are wheel effects and you just discard, fuck, that's a good one.
That's a good ass card.
Yes.
It's a solid card, and everybody out there has it because it's from Commander 2020.
That's it.
That's a good one. Transmogrify.
I think that Gary Hewitt actually has an altered art one from our Facebook auctions.
Neat.
Yeah, cool. Transmogrify, that's polymorph, right? Exile a creature, you reveal down till you hit a different creature.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's every Thursday on our Facebook page. For those
There it is.
auctions.
Maybe I'll paint a Transmogrify.
Or a Wildfire Returnal.
Yeah, this is afflict 4, so when it becomes blocked, right? Defending player pays 4 life.
Loses 4 life.
Yeah. Oh, so they can take 1 damage from it hitting them, or they can block it and lose 4.
Now, why would they want to do that?
When it attacks and isn't blocked, You may cast an instant or sorcery card from your hand for mother ass free.
Yeah.
I love when mother ass is free.
That's why it gets blocked.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good ass card. Now let's get to the most exciting category. It has my name in it.
Yes, the Brando removal section.
And let's talk about the first card in the Brando removal section. I'm so proud I'm having an impact on the Magic community as a whole because it is the greatest, most efficient, most sexiest, most friendliest card in the history of the game, Brash Taunter.
Brash Taunter. You didn't even throw in a mother ass. I thought you were going to. Just no, you didn't. Brash Taunter. 5-drop 1/1 goblin, indestructible. When it's dealt combat damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent, and you go red 2 tap, and it fights something.
Whenever it's dealt damage, period.
Whenever it's dealt damage.
Yeah, it's not combat damage.
It's just whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you got a 40-40? Nice 40-40, bro.
What's up?
Yeah. You wanna send that over there, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hit me with it.
Well, no. And even if you don't and you kill player 2, I'm just going to fucking fight it and kill you.
Exactly.
Brash Taunter. Don't forget, you can get them FusionGamingOnline.com. I know that the last time I checked, because I was looking for some to paint middle fingers on, they had the regulars, the extended arts, the foils, and I think like the date stamped ones too. So get them FusionGamingOnline.com, CCO promo code, CCO Fusion 5. Get them 5% off your Brash Taunters.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, another Brando special. How many spells have I countered with this?
How many times have you gone like mana? What's the tapped land one? Mana Geyser into Comet Storm.
Oh, several times.
Several times. Yeah, Comet Storm. It's Fireball, but fixed Fireball for everybody, and it's an instant.
Oh, it's so
multi-kick it just to every other opponent you want to kill.
I'll do this. Don't do that. No, I'm doing it. I super wouldn't. Well, I'm still doing it. I'll Comet Storm you to death.
Oh.
God, that's a good card.
F you, Jesse.
He is the one that I do it to more often than anybody else. Fall of the Titans.
Fall of the Titans has got Surge. Something about teammates?
Red XX. It deals X damage to each of up to 2 target creatures and or players. It has Surge X, which is you can cast this card for it, or Surge Red X, sorry. That means if you or a teammate, in this case just you, have cast another spell this turn, you can cast it for its Surge cost. That's what Surge does.
Oh, yes. So it Surge is essentially doubling the fucking size of it because you're eliminating half of your X component.
Why do I know what Surge does, but I can never remember what fucking Menace is?
I don't know. Maybe you had some trauma when you were a kid.
What life is this we're living? Fiery Confluence.
Oh, baby. Sorcery, red 2. Choose 3. You can choose the same one more than once. 1 damage to each creature.
Meh.
2 damage to each opponent.
Yeah.
Destroy an artifact.
Possibly good.
Oh, yeah. Choose 3. That's a good one.
Yeah. Fling.
Throw something at somebody. It hurts them.
Grab the reins.
Steal something. Hit somebody with the thing that you stole. You can entwine to do both.
This is an awesome card. I don't think enough people are playing. Good on you, Gary Hewitt. It's Hate Mirage.
Choose up to 2 target creatures you don't control. For each of those creatures, you get a token that's a copy, and they gain haste, and then they eat shit after.
Yeah.
You just like it's almost like double threaten, right?
Yeah. Sort of.
For like 1 more mana.
It's incredible and Brutaclad.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Incite Rebellion.
What the heck? Okay. For each player, Incite Rebellion deals damage to that player, and each creature that player controls equal to the number of creatures they control. Oh.
It's a hell of a card, that one.
Yeah, so if you got like a 20 token army, just take 20.
Yeah.
And all your tokens take 20?
Yes.
Okay.
Insult to Injury.
Okay. Damage can't be prevented this turn, and injury is a sideways graveyard one. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player.
Now, I wish Insult was a fucking instant, because not only does it say damage can't be prevented, it also doubles the damage that sources you control do until end of turn.
Yeah.
I want that to be an instant so bad.
Yes.
Because I want somebody to attack me when I'm sitting there with my Brash Taunter.
I was going to say you could cast it after no blocks, but sure.
Nah.
Always got the Taunter on the mind.
When there's a Taunter in the deck, that's the only thing I focus on. How I can
You've
how I
got
can
that
kill
Taunter
people with Brash
state of
Taunter.
mind.
Yeah, dude. Like I can Comet Storm for 20, and then you for 20, and then Brash Taunter for 20, and then 20 you again, taking you from 40 to 0. Brash Taunter is the greatest creature of all time.
Oh, man.
Speaking of Comet Storming for 20, Leyline Tyrant can help you do that.
Yes, and Leyline Tyrant is the little bit of a combo with Braid of Fire. Remember, cumulative upkeep, get a red, and you got to use it during your upkeep because mana goes away at the end of steps and phases. But with Leyline Tyrant, he's a 4-drop, 4/4 flying dragon. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. Ooh. When Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any number of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target.
Cool.
So you can save up all your mana, and then you can just kill your Leyline Tyrant yourself and get all that mana if you just got to off somebody. You can use it politically. You can stash all of your Braid of Fire mana in there. Very excellent.
Very, very cool card.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
And it just lets you save all your red mana. So
Yeah.
if you just want to spend some of it like tomorrow.
Why not? Why
Tomorrow
spend
being
today
next
what you
turn.
can spend tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah. That's not usually how Red thinks. Red
No.
is usually like, oh, fuck it, I want to buy it now. I don't care if it's not on sale. Yep.
But sometimes you can't afford it right now. You got to wait for your mana confluence to
Yes.
tick up a little bit.
Yes.
Your Braid of Fire. Sorry.
Braid of Fire, yeah. So is that the deck?
That's the whole deck.
Wow. So we wheeled, we drawed, we drew, we copied, we graveyarded,
And we slapped the shit out of people.
we stomped dinks until they're just dust and dirt.
Yep. We
Very
crushed
excellent.
them into dust and threw them into the wind.
Oh, you just Vegeta'd me.
There it is.
Don't Google that?
I don't even know what that would mean. Was there anybody in Dragon Ball Z that kicked more actual ass than Vegeta?
I don't know. I think he's got the most body count, especially if you include like the tournament after, what was it, after the Cell games, like the next tournament when
Wait, when he just like...
he blasts the side of that stadium out. Like,
Yeah, those people are totally fucking dead
he's
now.
blown up whole worlds. I guess if you count worlds, then probably Frieza has the highest body count
I guess.
because Namek and
But let's just count like actual asses kicked. I think that
yeah,
Vegeta might
Vegeta.
actually-
I think statistically Vegeta does hold that.
like, he might have lost more fights, but man, he beats
you know
more
what it
ass.
is? Named characters. That's what it is. The death count of named characters. It's Vegeta.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah. You notice in season 1 or like the Saiyan saga or the Vegeta saga, like way back in the 80s, the size of Vegeta's neck versus the size of Vegeta's neck now. Strengths and weaknesses. So I think biggest thing for us is we want to focus a lot of the cast and the YouTube content around what's fun. What's fun, and our audience is interested in having a good time when they sit down to play Commander, whether it's with us or otherwise.
Correct.
Strength. We are playing cards that we love, and we're doing it in an arrangement that is unique and fun.
Yes, I think that this deck would be a great deal of fun to pilot, and I think that once you get over the initial shock, like just you accept that your game plan isn't probably going to go the way that you planned it. It's fun because drawing cards is fun, and you get to draw 7 new cards every turn in this deck.
Get him with that Dragon Mage, I'm telling you.
And it's fun. It's a good time, and I think that everybody, if you don't like that, because it throws you off, but enjoy it, man. It's fun. You get to see all the cards in your deck. All the cards in your deck
Yeah.
are fun. That's why you're playing them. Good stuff.
Yep, I love the high risk, high reward nature of the deck and Magic in general. That is one of the reasons that I like to play Red or like to play Graveyards, because it is a powerful way to play, but you can just get bent over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somebody will punch your dink right out the back of your butt.
Yeah, the old Leyline of the Void turn 1.
Ooh, not so good.
Good game, Zurzoth.
Yeah.
Good game.
Okay, Slaps Lips. I think we've already been over this. We can make a ton of mana, and we can sink it into like Leyline Tyrant, or we can sink it into Comet Storm, or any of our X spells. We can do
Yes.
that. Or we can chain rituals together to make tons of mana and just wheel through our whole deck, especially with Underworld Breach.
It uses slapped lips to sink ships.
Oh, I thought Brash Taunter State of Mind was the T-shirt quote of the day. No, we're gonna slap lips to sink ships. And then if we ever did a charity drive, we could say for the kids. All right, card draw, card advantage for days in Red. I think Wizards has, I'll say, solved the Red card draw problem from a few years ago when we used to say red can't draw cards. We're still not really drawing cards. We have to discard them to draw them. We have to exile them. We have to do some hoop jumping, but we do love a good hoop in CCO Nation.
And this deck certainly finds a way around it by, as you're getting those chaos draws, as they're called, you have a lot of mana to then play those spells. You don't have to just play this.
Chaos draw where you exile things, like Chaos Draw 3 is like, oh fuck, really? I need both of these, but I only have the mana for one.
Yeah.
Not today.
Not today,
we got
baby.
all the mana to play 3.
Because you need 1 and 2, and 3 makes it the mana to play both of them.
Yep.
Shit, yeah.
Very excellent. Okay, moving over to the weaknesses. We touched about the modal double face cards. Are they spells? Are they lands? We've got sort of 34 lands, maybe less.
Yeah.
If we're face upping the modal stuff, if we're discarding the Forgotten Cave, if we're always tapping the Gyro Reach Sanitarium to draw.
If you're going for that turn 1 Zurzoth, you're down 5 land.
At the very least. Never mind the Valikute tapped, the Forgotten Cave tapped, right?
Possibly Castle Embreth tapped.
The Fabled Passage tapped. The Gyro Reach Sanitarium that only gives you colorless.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to get your commander out, your 2, 3, 4 drop commander out as early as possible, you gotta run basics or untapped lands.
Yes.
So I guess that is another kind of more fuel to that conversation, right? Is how early do you want your commander, and how relevant is your commander to your strategy?
Truth.
That is going to affect how many modal double face cards you can play.
Yes, and
that's some commander tech shit right there.
And I think one of the things that we haven't touched on enough in this episode is while the deck hums along just fine without Zerzoth, the deck runs way better with him.
Yes.
Because now you're fucking with what your opponents are doing, and you're building up a little blocking wall that will keep you alive.
Yep.
We all remember how good Mog Fanatic used to be. Make him every turn.
Yep. Yeah. And speaking of not having Zurzoth or Zurzoth dying a whole bunch, the lack of mana, we're not playing Soul Ring. I think it's probably a mistake, and I know we're not trying to optimize the deck, but it's probably a mistake because it's arguably the best card in the format. Why would we not play it? There's almost zero downside.
Power 10.
Yeah. Yep. Does it run out of steam? Does it run into the aggro problem? That's the question. Are there too many tapped lands? Is that how we solve that question? Or if we randomly just don't draw a wheel when we're trying to chain wheels, do we run into that problem?
I play decks that are like this, but not like this, where, let's call it Omnath, right? You can run into all of your payoffs for ramping or all of your ramping, and unless you have a mixture of those two things, the deck doesn't really do much, and this deck could hit this as well.
I think this deck does have a good mixture. The card amounts are probably correct or close to, but you still can draw into the wrong side. You get everything, but you don't draw your card draw spells. Bryon Stout Armor is notorious for this. I can draw all of the 6 and 7 drops that I have in the deck to fling with, but none of the ramp that is in there because it's a Boros deck. It needs ramp.
You
right?
can't play them, yeah.
Yeah,
and you could hypothetically Zerzoth yourself also. As much as we don't care about
Zerzoth
it as much,
myself, that is dirty.
You could 100% turn 1 Zerzoth, boom, swing in, and you discard your 1 recycling card.
Ooh.
Or just the 1. And anybody who's ever resolved a gamble with 7 cards in their hand
and got it,
and you discard the card you find, it's the worst feel. That's the worst feel you can have. But it is a good laugh when you're playing with your buddies.
Well, that's the high risk, high reward, right? You get yourself with your own damn gamble. I've done that before in Zada, with 10 cards in my hand, and got the fucking one I needed. God damn it.
She's pissed off about it all over again.
That's fine. Okay, budget. And this is where it gets a little bit wonky, is Architect is not accounting for the price of something or a combination of things, and I've tried using their different price things where they're not capturing cards or capturing cards. So anyway, I used TCG Mid, USD dollars, Freedom Money, Gold Eagle, Bald Eagle Piss currency, $120 deck.
Wow.
Let's just pretend that's what it is.
Okay.
4 most expensive cards: Mana Crypt at 86 Freedom units.
Whew.
Valikute, 28 Freedom units.
Wow.
Ruby Medallion, $17. We're going back to that.
That's a lot.
Give us more medallions in Commander Legends.
They have to.
They have to.
Right? They have to.
Yeah, they'll be there. Deflecting SWAT, 15. Could be the Zendikar trap one. If somebody casts a blue spell, you can cast it for a red instead
It
of...
could be a red elemental blast.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. $15 for deflecting SWAT. Sounds like something else. Deflecting what?
Palm?
Anyways, what? We're talking about different things.
Oh.
Anyways, you cut all those things, we're saving $146. So the total budget for the deck, minus 26. This deck will pay you to play it.
So you make $26 by playing this deck.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Incredible.
Yes. We've taken budget to a new level. Magic now makes you money.
Wow. Are we MTG Finance, Ryan?
Yes. Zurzoth Finance Cast.
Oh, shit.
ZFC.
Oh, we have leveled up.
ZFCCO.
Oh, man. First we become official content creators. Now we're Magic Finance.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
That is it.
Wow.
So the deck is budget, I guess, is the point. If you wanted to add traditional Wheel of Fortune, like Wheel of Fortune proper, not so budget. You're going to triple the price of the deck.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's probably the best version of Wheel, right?
It is. Well, that's why they call it Wheel, Ryan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yep.
I'm an idiot. All right, Spice Calculator. We talked about this in the hints for the pre-show. Zerzoth is number 23 on the list of mono-red commandees.
Puts him right below Bosch, Iron Golem, and right above Zeralan of the Claw?
Yeah, it's some Mirage Dragon that you'd never play. 201 deck lists, an average CMC of 3.43. We didn't even talk about that when we were talking about land and double face cards. If the average CMC of this deck was like 1.9, sure, fuck, 34 lands, totally cool. But not so much.
Yeah.
It's like triple that almost, or double at least. Okay, tutors. I don't think we had any.
There aren't any.
No.
Yeah, no gamble, no nothing.
I think, and Zada can attest to this, and you've played a Zada deck, when you're ripping through your deck,
Oh, yeah.
and there's enough cards where you just don't give a shit about that, especially if you have an Underworld Breach. Because you're going to find that, and that's just going to be the one that you don't discard until you want to cast it, and you just get everything back. You don't need tutors in this deck.
No.
Got like 20,000 card draw spells.
If you wheel 4 times in a game, you're probably going to get the card you want.
You're probably going to win. If you can wheel 4 times.
Yeah, you probably have won.
And you're strategically making your opponents discard at random right on your fucking commander.
Yeah.
You're probably going to win.
You'll probably get there. Yeah.
For Spice Calculator purposes, 40 cards different than the stock page on EDHREC.com.
Hell yeah.
Lots of Devil Tribal, which I think is when Zerzoth came out, it was like, oh yeah, we got a Devil Commander, Devil, right?
Yeah.
Red Devil. Not to be confused with White Devil from Ace Ventura 2.
I don't remember that.
White Devil?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe you'll have to watch that. Lots of wheels.
Wheels.
When I looked at the EDH rec page, I did see wheels, and that is maybe the tie into this where we're going kind of big mana and finishing out the game with X spells. Wheels and devils are what every person is doing. So when we type it all in, 40 individual cards, different cards than the stock page on EDHREC.com. Including Ricochet Trap. That was what I suggested instead of Deflecting SWAT. I didn't remember the name, but it's Ricochet Trap.
Okay.
So, punch it all in. We get a Spice Calculator rating of 58.4.
Very good.
Yes, past the 50 test. That's important.
Very important.
I think that I would like this kind of deck. I have a Zada deck, as everybody knows. You like this kind of deck. It plays a lot of cards that we both like. Big thank you to Gary Hewitt for sending it in. Gary Halfwit, if you will. He is full-witted if he expects to play this deck to any reasonable amount of success, or he would have to be full-witted.
Jeez, this would be a hard one to play when you're just hammered, eh? You're 6 beer deep trying to play this shit? Oh, my God.
Yep. Resolving wheels and stacking triggers with your fucking whatever that card was in Zurzoth. Which one does go where?
And
you play against the guy that's like, what order do you put them on the stack on? Oh. Right? No, it's that's not the way to think about it or make people think about it. You bunch of jerks. It's just like, how do you want them to resolve?
Yeah.
How do you want them to resolve? Just resolve them in that order. It doesn't matter what order you put them on the stack in.
Stop trying to trick people with the weird rules.
Yeah.
Don't give me your Thako bullshit.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't know what that is, and neither should you, nor should you. But there are people out there that know what it fucking means. And they hate it too.
Good.
They're triggered too.
Good. I love hating stuff.
Fuck, I have -2 armor, and that's good.
I don't know what that means.
Exactly. Exactly. The point is, this deck is awesome.
Yeah. Big thank you to Gary again for sending it in. We got it from the preferred deck list on the Discord server. That's one of the benefits to becoming a patron at patreon.com/CCO Podcast. Give us your final thought of the day. You had a good vibe. That was deleting Arena. My good vibe is throwback to my son's birthday party today. Gonna drink some beer, have some cake. I'm going to drink beer. He's going to have cake. I might have cake too. We're having Thanksgiving. It's Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend.
Hey, yeah. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the nation. It'll be over by the time you hear this. But screw that. That's still awesome.
Rebecca's making a 900-pound ham. I think it came from a fucking dinosaur.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's big.
Dino ham.
Dino ham. That's what they call me on the internet.
Don't Google that under any circumstances. Holy God.
Thank our glorious overlords and sponsors. Big thank you to, I'll thank Ian and Jonathan for all of their work that they've been putting in and all of their communication with us to make sure we're apprised of all the stuff that they're working on. Give us our final thought of the day and thank the sponsors.
Mono red decks are always my favorite. Decks like this, even more so because they play all sorts of super exciting things that prove to all of the naysayers out there that red is not just about turning things sideways and doing 3 to stuff, because I think that that's a bad way of looking at the color, and I think there's a lot more nuance here than people give credit for. So good on ya, Mr. Dimwit. We really appreciate you letting us talk about your deck today.
Halfwit.
Halfwit?
Halfwit, Dimwit, I mean.
Whatever. I'm the king of the nation. I'll call people what I want.
Yeah, F that guy.
Yeah. In any case, also big thank you to FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs, and our glorious overlords. They help keep us in cards and on the air for all of you, so that you can have us into your ear holes and your eye holes and whatever other hole that you like to put the show in each and every week. We would not be here without you guys, so thank you so much. And we will be back next week with another super exciting deck on another exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!